Hey, vintage car fans, and welcome to another deep dive.
This one is tailored specifically for all of you listening to Vintage Car Chronicles over on Spotify.
Today, we are taking a deep dive into the Peugeot 106.
A car that might seem unassuming at first.
Yeah, just a little city car.
But trust me,
But it's got a story.
it's got a story that'll take you from those city streets to rally stages and even into the world of video games.
That's right. We've got a treasure trove of information today.
We've got historical overviews, we've got technical specs.
We've got model variations.
And even some of its pop culture appearances.
Buckle up, because the 106's tale
Is one of practicality and a whole lot of personality.
I, for one, am ready to be surprised.
Yeah.
I have to admit, my knowledge of the 106 is a bit limited.
Yeah. Okay.
I know it's a popular little city car, but beyond that, I'm all ears.
Well, let's start with a little bit of historical context then.
Okay.
Picture the European car market in the early 90s. The small car segment was booming,
Okay.
and Peugeot needed a successor for their aging 104 model.
So they saw a gap in the market and decided to fill it.
Exactly.
So-
But they also had another challenge.
Oh.
They wanted to start phasing out the wildly popular 205.
No, that's a tough act to follow.
It is a tough act to follow.
Yeah, the 205 was a legend. It was sporty.
Yeah.
It was stylish.
Absolutely.
Beloved by enthusiasts.
Yeah.
So how did they plan to replace such an icon?
Enter the 106.
Okay.
It debuted in 1991.
Right.
Designed with a very clear philosophy:
What was that?
maximize interior space within a compact footprint.
Ah.
They knew that city dwellers needed a car that was easy to maneuver,
Right.
easy to park, but that didn't compromise on passenger comfort.
So right from the start, it was all about clever engineering and urban practicality.
Exactly.
What about the engines?
Okay.
Did they develop something completely new for the 106?
They opted for a strategy that emphasized reliability
Okay.
and cost effectiveness. All right.
They equipped the 106 with their tried and true TU series engines, which were already proven workhorses in other Peugeot models like the 205.
Interesting. So they leveraged existing technology
Yeah,
to keep things affordable and dependable?
exactly.
Smart move, especially when you're targeting a mass market.
Yeah,
But I'm guessing they didn't just stick with one engine option, right?
you're right.
There must have been some choices.
The 106 actually had a surprisingly diverse engine lineup,
Okay.
especially considering its small size.
Really?
Yeah, they offered a range of petrol engines from a tiny but efficient 954cc
Okay.
all the way up to a much peppier 1587cc.
So there was something for everyone, whether you prioritized fuel economy or a bit more zip on the open road?
Exactly.
Perfect.
And they even catered to the diesel crowd,
Oh, okay.
with options ranging from 1360cc to 1527cc.
Wow, so they really did cover all the bases.
Yeah.
I guess we'll dive into the engine specifics a bit later.
Okay.
Right now I'm curious about the 106's overall lifespan.
Did it go through any major changes or updates over the years?
Of course, the 106 had two main phases.
Okay.
The first phase, from its debut in 1991 to 1996,
Right.
showcased its initial design and engineering.
The OG 106.
Yeah, and then in 1996, it received a significant facelift,
Okay.
which we call Phase 2.
A facelift, so they gave it a makeover to
Exactly.
keep it looking fresh and competitive.
Yes. The Phase 2 update brought in a more rounded, modern aesthetic.
Okay.
They smoothed out some of those sharp edges,
Right.
redesigned the headlights, and even tweaked the interior to a more contemporary feel.
Like they gave the 106 a whole new lease on life.
Yeah, basically.
I love those mid-cycle updates that revitalize a car's design.
Yeah,
It shows they were paying attention to those evolving tastes and trends.
absolutely.
But beyond the aesthetics, did the Phase 2 update include any mechanical changes?
They did. They introduced some mechanical refinements as well,
Okay.
focusing on improving safety handling
Uh-huh.
and overall performance. It wasn't a revolutionary change,
Yeah.
but it helped to keep the 106 competitive in a rapidly evolving market.
So they didn't rest on their laurels. They kept pushing to make the 106 better.
Yeah, they did.
Now, we've talked about the general evolution,
Okay.
but I'm itching to get into the specifics.
Right.
It wasn't just a single car, was it?
No, it wasn't.
What kind of model range are we talking about here?
Oh, the 106 was a bit of a chameleon, offering a surprising variety of models
Ooh, that's what I like to hear.
to suit different needs and tastes.
Give me the rundown.
Okay.
What were some of the key models in the 106 lineup?
Well, you had your basic models like the XN
Okay.
and the Open,
Right.
which were all about practicality and affordability.
So the bread and butter of the range.
Yeah,
No frills transportation.
exactly.
Okay.
But then they spiced things up with special editions
Okay.
that added a touch of flair and personality.
Like what?
We're talking editions like the Roland Garros,
Okay.
the Zenith, and even a cartoon edition.
Hold on, a cartoon edition?
There was a cartoon edition.
That's intriguing. What was the story behind that one?
The cartoon edition was all about injecting some fun and whimsy into the 106's image. It often featured bright, playful colors, unique graphics, and sometimes even cartoon characters like Droopy the dog.
That's so cool. I love how they weren't afraid to experiment with different themes and target different demographics.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling those weren't the only special editions, right?
You're right. There were around 20 special editions.
Wow.
Throughout the 106's lifespan.
Okay.
Each with its own unique flavor.
Give me some more examples.
Well, they had the very stylish Zenith editions that often came with upgraded sound systems and premium interior trims.
So a little something for the audiophiles out there.
Yeah.
What else did they come up with?
Well, there was the Kid edition, which, believe it or not, came with denim seats.
Denim seats.
Denim seats.
That's fantastic. Yeah. I bet that was a hit with parents who didn't want to worry about spills and stains.
Exactly.
That's great.
And they even partnered with renowned fashion designer Inès de la Fressange for a special edition in 1997.
A designer 106 that's taking things to another level.
It is.
It sounds like they really had fun with those special editions.
They did.
Offering something for everyone.
Yeah.
But I'm guessing these were mainly cosmetic changes, right?
For the most part, yes.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the 106, there's a whole other world to explore.
What's that?
The performance model.
Okay, now we're talking.
Here's where things get really interesting.
All right, let's dive into the sporty side of the 106.
We have to talk about the XI,
the
Rallye, and the legendary S16.
Those names have a certain ring to them.
They do.
Especially the S16. What made them stand out from the rest of the lineup?
Well, they were designed for those who craved a bit more excitement behind the wheel. The XSI was the initial sporty model, boasting a 1.4 LL engine and a more aggressive suspension setup. It later evolved into the S16 in Phase 2.
Ah, the S16.
Yeah.
That name is synonymous with small car performance.
It is.
What made it so special?
The S16 was the top-of-the-line performance model, packing a punchy 1.6L 16-valve engine that produced a healthy 120 horsepower.
120 horsepower might not sound like much today.
Yeah.
But in a lightweight car like the 106, it must have been a blast to drive.
It was all about responsiveness, agility, and that classic go-kart feel. It wasn't about brute force. It was about precision and finesse.
And it wasn't just about straight-line speed, right?
No.
I've heard whispers about the 106's legendary handling.
You heard right.
What was the secret sauce there?
The 106, especially in its sportier guises, was renowned for its nimble handling. And precise steering.
It really was a true driver's car.
It was.
Rewarding those who enjoyed pushing it to its limits.
Absolutely.
I bet those upgraded suspensions played a key role in its sharp handling.
Yeah.
What were some of the technical details behind those sporty suspensions?
Well, the XI and S16 featured stiffer springs, sportier shock absorbers, and larger anti-roll bars compared to the standard models. These upgrades helped to minimize body roll, improve grip, and ultimately enhance the overall driving experience.
So they weren't just cosmetic upgrades.
No.
They were serious performance enhancements.
Yes.
But before we go any further, I have to ask about the Rallye.
Okay.
That name just screams motorsport heritage.
The Rallye is where it gets really special. This wasn't just a sporty version. It was a homologation special.
Hold on. A homologation special?
Yeah.
So they basically took a race car and made it street legal.
You got it to compete in certain rally categories. Manufacturers had to produce a minimum number of road-going versions of their race cars. And that's exactly what Peugeot did with the 106 Rallye.
That's incredible. So what made the Rallye so unique compared to the other sporty models?
Well, it was all about stripping it down to the essentials and focusing on pure driving performance. It was lighter, more agile, and had a more raw, visceral feel compared to the XI or the S16.
So less luxury, more focus.
Exactly.
Sounds like a true driver's dream.
It was.
What about the engine options for the Rallye? Was it just a single engine choice, or did they offer some variety?
They actually offered 2 engine options for the Rallye. Depending on the year and the market. You could choose between a spirited 1.3L or a more potent 1.6L engine.
So they had a couple of choices.
They did.
Gotcha. And both were tuned for maximum performance and responsiveness.
Exactly.
Perfectly suited for tackling those twisty rally stages.
Yeah.
It sounds like they really thought of everything when it came to the rally.
Yeah.
It was a true purpose-built performance machine.
Yeah, you could say that.
But before we get too lost in the world of rally racing,
okay,
there's another fascinating aspect of the 106 that we haven't touched on yet. It's electric adventure.
Ah, yes, the 106 electric.
An electric car in the 90s.
It might seem like a modern concept.
It does.
But Peugeot was already exploring electric mobility way back in the mid-90s.
That's way ahead of its time.
Yeah.
I'm really curious to learn more about this. What was the story behind the 106 electric?
Well, it was a bold move for Peugeot.
Yeah.
A clear sign that they were looking towards the future of mobility.
Okay.
The 106 Electric launched in 1995.
Right.
And while it wasn't a huge commercial success,
right,
it was a significant technological achievement.
So they were pioneers in the electric car space.
Yeah.
I bet it was quite a novelty back then.
It was.
What were its key features and specifications?
The 106 Electric was powered by a nickel-cadmium battery pack.
Okay.
And had a range of about 90 kilometers on a single charge.
All right.
Its top speed was limited to 90 kilometers per hour, which was more than adequate for city driving.
That's pretty impressive for an electric car from the mid-90s.
It is.
It might not sound like much today, but it was a groundbreaking achievement for its time.
Absolutely. And despite its limited range and performance,
yeah,
the 106 Electric actually held a sales record for electric vehicles for a period.
Really?
Proving that there was a growing interest in sustainable transportation even back then.
Wow, that's fascinating. So the 106 wasn't just a practical city car or a sporty hatchback.
No.
It was also an early adopter of electric technology.
It was.
It's really a testament to Peugeot's innovation and forward-thinking approach.
It is.
And it's a reminder that the quest for sustainable mobility has been going on for longer than many people realize.
Absolutely.
It's easy to think of electric cars as a recent phenomenon.
Yeah.
But the 106 Electric proves that the seeds were sown decades ago.
Exactly.
It makes you wonder what the future holds for electric cars, doesn't it?
It does, but before we get too far ahead of ourselves, let's bring it back to the 106 and explore another facet of its story.
What's that?
Its impact on the automotive landscape and its contribution to Peugeot's success.
Okay, great segue. We've talked about its different models, its performance, and its electric venture.
Yeah.
But what about its overall significance?
Okay.
How did the 106 shape Peugeot's image and influence the car market?
Well, the 106 was more than just a successful car.
Oh?
It was a cultural phenomenon.
Wow.
It helped to solidify Peugeot's reputation for building stylish, well-engineered cars that were fun to drive and accessible to a wide range of buyers.
So it wasn't just about sales figures. It was about building a brand identity.
Exactly. The 106 was a car that appealed to both the head and the heart.
Right.
It was practical, reliable, and affordable. But it also had a certain charm and personality that set it apart from the competition.
I'm starting to see why it became such a beloved car.
Yeah.
It wasn't just transport. It was an extension of people's personalities and lifestyles.
You got it. And that connection, that emotional resonance was key to the 106's success. It wasn't just a car. It was a companion, a friend, a reflection of who you were.
It's amazing how a car can evoke such strong feelings.
It is.
And create such a lasting impact.
It is, and the 106's influence can still be felt today in Peugeot's design language.
Oh, really?
And their commitment to creating cars that are both stylish and engaging to drive.
It's like the 106's DNA is still present in the Peugeot cars we see on the roads today.
Absolutely. The 106 wasn't just a car. It was a legacy, a foundation upon which Peugeot continued to build their automotive empire.
I love that it wasn't just a product.
No.
It was a stepping stone, a catalyst for future innovation and success.
Exactly. And it's a testament to the power of a well-executed vision and a commitment to creating cars that resonate with people on a deeper level.
So we've covered its origins, its evolution, its sporty variants, its electric adventure, and its cultural impact. But there's one more thing I'm curious about.
Okay.
The 106's performance on the track.
Yeah.
I know it wasn't just about city driving. It had a serious motorsport pedigree, didn't it?
You're absolutely right. The 106 was a formidable competitor on the rally stage.
Okay.
And that's a story we need to delve into.
I'm all ears. Let's hear about the 106's racing exploits.
Okay. The 106's motorsport story is really a testament to its versatility. Remember those sporty versions we talked about?
The XSI, the S16.
Yeah, and especially the Rallye.
Oh, yeah, the Rallye.
Those weren't just for show.
Right.
Peugeot actively campaigned them
okay.
in various motorsport events and rally championships.
So they weren't afraid to put their money where their mouth was and prove the 106's performance capability.
Exactly. They believed in the 106's potential, and it paid off.
Oh.
The 106 achieved some impressive results, particularly in the Group N and A categories of rallying.
Oh.
Its lightweight design and nimble handling made it a natural fit for the tight corners and challenging terrains of rally stages.
It's amazing to think that a car designed for city streets could hold its own against purpose-built rally cars. What were some of the 106's standout moments in motorsport?
Well, one of the most notable achievements was in the French Rally Championship.
Okay.
In 2000, driver Cedric Robert managed to secure a remarkable fifth-place finish driving the 106 Maxi.
Wait, the 106 Maxi?
Yeah.
Didn't we mention that earlier?
We did.
I thought that was just a concept or a limited run special.
You're remembering correctly. We did touch upon the 106 Maxi.
Okay.
But it's worth diving a bit deeper into its story.
Right.
Because it's a fascinating chapter in the 106's motorsport legacy. You see, the 106 Maxi wasn't just some random upgrade.
Right.
It was a serious rally car developed with inspiration from its bigger brother, the 306 Maxi.
Okay, now I'm really intrigued. So they took the already nimble and lightweight 106 and transformed it into a full-blown rally weapon. Tell me more about this 106 Maxi and what made it so special.
Picture this, it's 1997. And Peugeot unveils this beast of a 106 wider track, aggressive body kit, a screaming, naturally aspirated engine pushing out close to 200 horsepower.
Wow.
And all the rally-specific goodies you could imagine.
Okay.
It was a far cry from the humble city car that the 106 started out as.
Wow, that's a serious transformation. It's like they took the 106's DNA and injected it with pure adrenaline. So it wasn't just a marketing gimmick. They actually built and raced these 106 Maxes.
Absolutely. They put it in the hands of talented rally drivers like Lana Montaigne and the very same Cedric Robert who achieved that impressive fifth-place finish in the French Rally Championship.
Right.
The 106 Maxi proved that you didn't need a massive budget or a huge team to be competitive in rallying.
So what was the key to their success?
It was all about clever engineering, skilled driving, and a bit of that 106 magic.
I love that it's a classic underdog story, a David versus Goliath scenario where the little 106 took on the big boys of rally racing and held its own. It must have been a thrill to watch these little pocket rockets zipping through the forest and flying over jumps.
It was the 106 Maxi became a fan favorite, and its success helped to further solidify the 106's reputation as a car that could do it all.
It's truly remarkable how the 106 managed to bridge the gap between everyday practicality and motorsport excitement. It was a car that could comfortably navigate city traffic during the week and then tear up a rally stage on the weekend.
Exactly, and that versatility, that ability to seamlessly transition between different roles is a testament to the 106's well-rounded design and engineering.
Right.
It wasn't just a one-trick pony. It was a car that could wear many hats.
It sounds like the 106 was more than just a car. It was an embodiment of Peugeot's spirit, their commitment to innovation, performance, and, dare I say, a bit of French flair.
You're absolutely right. The 106 wasn't just a product. It was a statement, a reflection of Peugeot's values and their passion for creating cars that were both enjoyable and accessible.
It's fascinating how a single car can embody so much of a company's identity.
It is.
And leave such a lasting mark on the automotive world.
It is.
But speaking of lasting marks, we've talked a lot about the 106's technical features and performance.
Okay.
But what about its design? What were the key elements that made the 106 visually stand out from the crowd?
The 106's design is an interesting study in evolution and adaptation. If we look at the first generation, the one launched in 1991, it was very much a product of its time.
Okay.
Sharp, angular lines dominated the automotive design landscape back then.
Right.
And the 106 embraced that aesthetic.
So it had that distinctive 90s look, the boxy, geometric style that was so popular back then.
Exactly. But when the Phase 2 update arrived in 1996, Peugeot decided to soften things up a bit.
Okay.
They rounded off some of those sharp edges, redesigned the headlights, and gave the overall profile a more aerodynamic and contemporary feel.
It's amazing how a few subtle changes can make such a big difference in a car's appearance. It's like they gave the 106 a fresh haircut and a new wardrobe.
That's a great analogy. It wasn't a radical transformation, but it was enough to keep the 106 looking modern and appealing alongside its newer competitors.
Yeah. They managed to strike a balance between maintaining the essence of the original design while also updating it for the times.
It's like they took the best of both worlds and blended them seamlessly. But let's not forget about those special editions.
Oh, yeah.
We talked about their names and themes, but what were some of the unique design features that set them apart visually? I'm picturing some bold colors, special decals, and maybe even some unique interior trims.
You're spot on. The special editions where Peugeot really let their designers have some fun.
Okay.
For instance, the Roland Garros edition, inspired by the famous French Open tennis tournament, often featured a distinctive green paint job with special decals and badging.
Very chic and sporty. It's like they brought a touch of the tennis court to the city streets.
What about the Zenith edition? Any audiophile-inspired design cues there?
Of course, the Zenith editions often came with unique interior trims, sometimes incorporating materials like wood or aluminum to give them a more premium feel.
Fancy.
And don't forget about the upgraded sound systems. Oh, right.
That were a hallmark of the Zenith edition.
So it was like a rolling concert hall, a mobile sanctuary for music lovers. And what about the 106 Kid with those legendary denim seats? Was there anything else that made it visually unique?
The Kid edition was all about youthful practicality and a touch of playfulness, along with the denim upholstery.
Right.
It often featured bright and cheerful color schemes.
Okay.
Sometimes with colorful accents on the bumpers or side moldings. It was designed to appeal to younger drivers and families who wanted a car that was both functional and fun.
It sounds like they really captured the spirit of youth and adventure with that edition, and I can only imagine how eye-catching the cartoon edition must have been with its bright colors, graphics, and those Droopy the dog decals.
It was definitely a head-turner. The cartoon edition was all about injecting a dose of fun and personality into everyday driving.
It's incredible how they managed to create so much visual variety within the 106's relatively small footprint.
Yeah.
It really speaks to Peugeot's design creativity and their willingness to push boundaries. It does, and it's a reminder that car design isn't just about aesthetics.
Right.
It's about storytelling, about capturing a certain feeling or emotion.
That's a great point. It's about creating a connection between the car and the driver, a sense of shared identity and purpose.
Exactly. And the 106, with its diverse design language and its myriad special editions, managed to forge those connections with a wide range of people.
It was a car that could adapt to different personalities and lifestyles, offering something for everyone. But let's shift gears for a moment and talk about the 106's lasting legacy we've explored, its history, its performance, its design, and its cultural impact. What's its enduring significance in the automotive world? What lessons can we learn from the 106's success?
The 106's legacy is multifaceted and continues to influence car design and engineering today.
Okay, I'm all ears. Tell me more about how the 106 has left its mark on the automotive landscape. I'm ready to hear about this legacy. What makes the 106 so significant all these years later?
Well, for starters, the 106 helped solidify Peugeot's reputation for building practical and affordable cars that didn't skimp on style or driving enjoyment. It became a benchmark for the small car segment, proving that a car could be both economical and fun to drive.
So it challenged the perception that small cars had to be boring or purely utilitarian.
Exactly. The 106 showed that a small footprint didn't have to mean a compromise. On performance or personality. It was agile, responsive, and surprisingly spacious, making it a perfect fit for urban environments without sacrificing the joy of driving.
And it paved the way for future generations of small cars that embraced both practicality and driving pleasure.
Absolutely. You can see the 106's influence in many of the popular small cars we see on the roads today. It set a standard for what a well-rounded city car could be, influencing everything from design to engineering to the overall driving experience.
It's fascinating to think that a car launched over 3 decades ago is still shaping the automotive landscape today. But beyond its direct influence on car design, what broader lessons can we learn from the 106's success?
I think the 106's story highlights the importance of understanding your target market and delivering a product that truly meets their needs.
All right.
Peugeot recognized the growing demand for small, fuel-efficient cars that were also stylish and fun to drive.
Yeah.
And they hit the mark with the 106.
So it was a case of being in the right place at the right time with the right product.
Precisely. They tapped into a cultural shift, a growing desire for cars that were both practical and expressive. And they didn't just meet those needs, they exceeded them, creating a car that became a cultural icon and a symbol of a generation.
It's amazing how a car can transcend its role as a mere mode of transportation and become something much more meaningful. It becomes a statement, a reflection of a lifestyle, a symbol of a certain time and place.
You're absolutely right, and the 106 captured that spirit perfectly. It was a car that people connected with on a personal level, and that's what made it so successful.
I'm starting to get a bit nostalgic for the 106, even though I never owned one myself. It's like it represents a simpler time, a time when cars were more about the joy of driving and less about technology and distractions.
I understand that sentiment completely. The 106 embodies a certain purity, a focus on the essentials.
Yeah.
That's become increasingly rare in today's automotive landscape.
It's a reminder that sometimes less is more, that the most memorable driving experiences don't always come from the most powerful or expensive cars.
Exactly. It's about the connection between the driver and the machine, that sense of synergy and enjoyment that comes from a car that's perfectly in tune with its purpose.
Right.
And the 106 in all its various forms delivered on that promise.
Well said. It is a car that was designed with both the head and the heart. And that's a rare and wonderful combination. So as we wrap up our deep dive into the world of the Peugeot 106, what's the key takeaway for our listeners over at Vintage Car Chronicles?
I think the Peugeot 106 is a reminder that sometimes the most enduring cars aren't the flashiest or the most powerful.
Right.
They're the cars that connect with us on a deeper level, the cars that bring a smile to our faces every time we get behind the wheel.
It's about that spark of joy, that feeling of freedom and possibility that a well-designed car can evoke.
Exactly. And who knows, maybe you'll spot a well-preserved 106 out in the wild someday, a testament to its timeless appeal.
That would be a delightful encounter. Thanks for joining us on this journey through the history, design, and legacy of the Peugeot 106. And for all our listeners tuning in from Vintage Car Chronicles on Spotify, be sure to catch a new episode every day for more fascinating automotive adventures. Until next time, happy motoring.